another Ehlers-Danlos syndromes and hypermobile spectrum awareness month video. If you've just been diagnosed with EDS or HSD, then this is the video for you. I've brought some lovely zebras together to share what they wish they'd known when they were first diagnosed with EDS. I'm sure this will be helpful for people that have been living with it a long time too, so I hope you find this video helpful.
The thing I wish I'd known when I was first diagnosed is that the community is so nice, because it took me a little while to kind of accept that I had EDS, and then I was already following a few people like Jenny. I was watching her vlogs, and also Christina Doherty, and yeah, so I knew a little bit about it, but I had no idea how open everybody was going to be and how lovely everyone was. I've met so many bloggers and YouTubers, and my friendship list just zoomed up because all these people, suddenly I was part of their community, and I loved that. I wish I'd had it for a lot longer than I have, but I'm so thankful for everyone.
I wish I'd known at the start of my EDS journey that I was not alone. I felt very alone when I was first diagnosed because I'd never heard of this disease. I never met anyone with this disease, and I had no clue what it had in store for me. Along with wishing I had known other people, I wish that I would have told my younger self to be easy on my body, because I did all the sports. I danced, I did softball, I did volleyball, I cheered, and I'm now paying for it, but at the same time, I did what I loved and I had fun doing it. But now looking back, I wonder if it was worth it. I also wish that I'd known that there would be bad pain days, but no matter how hard they were, I would get through them.
Something that I would say I wish I'd known when I was first diagnosed with EDS would be that although I have this syndrome, disease, condition, whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to be defined by it, and I can still live my life to the fullest, and I'm just taking the scenic route in life. And although there'll be things that I can't do, I can still adapt things to make them work for me.
I think the thing that I wish I'd known when I was first diagnosed with EDS is that I'm not alone. You're not alone. Like, when you're wrapped up in this crazy condition and going through all the crazy things that we go through on a day-to-day basis, let alone extra things that might be cropping up, like surgeries and loads of other stuff, you just feel overwhelmed with it all, and you can feel like you're the only other person ever who's dealt with this, and the only other person that feels this way, but you're not. There's so many other people out there, and this wonderful community that I never realised when I was first diagnosed, and I wish that I'd had. And that's why I put these videos together, because I love this community and connecting people from across the world that have this one horrible thing in common, but it brings us together and we can help each other, and we just feel better because we're not alone anymore. And that's the main feedback that I get on my channel in general, is thank you. I know I'm not alone anymore. And if I can help just one person like that, that's all I aim to do. So you're not alone. We're all here for you. My inbox is always open for anything. So it's always in the description. Drop me a message. If not, just watch and enjoy and see that there are all these people that know what you're going through and care about it and are trying to make a difference.
Something that I wish that I had known when I was diagnosed was just how much EDS can affect all the different parts of your body, not just your joints. I had so many symptoms that I didn't even realise could be caused by EDS.
Something I wish I knew when I was diagnosed is that there's a whole community online of people willing to help.
So something that I wish I knew when I was first diagnosed, probably be more how other people aren't always as like accepting or don't fully understand it, kind of question you. I don't think I was fully ready for that, especially in terms of my varying mobility. Sometimes I use crutches, wheelchair, electric wheelchair, all these sorts of things. And I think sometimes, that I just wasn't ready for people just being like, oh, why are you in a wheelchair? Or, I saw you walking yesterday, what's going on today? I just wasn't ready for the invasion, the public invasion of people just asking you all these quite, private health questions and just feeling quite exposed a lot of the time. Definitely wasn't aware of that. And I think, I would have been a bit more grateful if I kind of realised that actually, sometimes now, my health is more visible, that people are going to start questioning, asking, and not fully understanding everything. But that's okay, you've got to do you and manage yourself the best you can.
So I think the thing that I wish I'd known the most when I was first diagnosed would definitely be that there are so many comorbid conditions which can explain essentially my whole life, but everything will just get dismissed as that's just EDS, and it turns out that there are some things which can be helped and can be fixed, and it's really frustrating that it takes so long to get those answers.
I would say, kind of linked with that but kind of not, so many things that I thought were my normal, so many things that I thought were my normal and that I just needed to deal with actually linked to EDS. And also I wish I knew that there was kind of other people out there that like knowing them would help you, because I felt so alone when I didn't know kind of what was going on.
Yeah, definitely.
And I met her.
The thing I wish I knew before being diagnosed with EDS is finding a good medical team that will accept a rare and complicated case. That is probably one of the hardest challenges outside of my own medical issues and dealing with those day to day, but that would definitely be a second close thing that I have a lot of issues with, and I'm sure many of us do as well.
So a couple of things that I would have liked to have known when I was diagnosed. Number one, use your words. So I have a terrible habit of walking into doctor's appointments, and if the response is not what I was hoping for, and I'm frustrated with the outcome, I sit and cry. For starters, if I'm not happy with the outcome, I have every right to tell them so. And secondly, they really are not mind readers. So over the years, I have learned that it's better to say what you are thinking, or have somebody there that can verbalise it for you if they're seeing that you're upset or they know your concerns going in there. And secondly, I would have liked somebody's guidance on where to go with my symptoms. A lot of the time I go back to my GP, it feels like a bit of a stab in the dark. A lot of the time they don't know, and it's blind leading the blind.
What I wish I would have known when I was first diagnosed was that there won't be any awesome team to support you, or specialists who know all about EDS, or even that some doctors might not even trust you or believe you and might put you in some sort of psychosomatic area because they don't know anything about EDS. So you really have to learn to be your own advocate and fight for your treatments, and also figure out solutions on your own and nitpick the doctors that are great and ignore the others. It's very difficult because many doctors still don't know a lot about EDS.
And that's the thing that I wish I'd known before I was diagnosed, was how much you have to advocate for yourself. There's just not enough awareness even within the medical community. I'm constantly having to sort of explain to my physio maybe why certain things aren't such a good idea for me. I wish I'd been more prepared for that.
What I wish I had known when I was diagnosed is that while a diagnosis is nice to have, it doesn't always matter. There will still be doctors out there who don't believe you. There will still be doctors out there who don't know what EDS is. There will still be doctors out there who treat you as if you're looking for drugs. But there are good doctors out there. There are doctors that want to help, and there are doctors who are willing to care about us enough to try to help. So the key is to find those good ones.
So what I wish I would have known before I got diagnosed is several things. I wish I would have known that, or understood, I guess, that it was a lifelong thing, and that there was basically no treatments or anything to help it. There's a lot of, like, I wear finger splints, which are these rings that you see are actually finger splints to help my fingers stay in place. I wear braces. I wear compression stockings, that kind of stuff. I use heat and ice packs a lot. I actually have a catheter in my chest, and I do daily hydration therapy. There's all kinds of things like that, but there's nothing that makes the symptoms stop. There's no medication that I can take that suddenly cures it. There's no cure. And I wish I would have understood that better, I guess, whenever I was diagnosed.
I guess the one thing that I wish I would have known before I got diagnosed was how hard it would be mentally to prepare myself for something that I knew was wrong with my body, but never actually really had a name for, or just assumed that I was clumsy and that things fell apart when I walked or when I ran. But the mental toll was, I think, the hardest, in trying to understand that this was a true genetic condition and it was handed down to me and wasn't done for me by choice. It wasn't something that I chose. And being prepared for the mental lifelong battle that is EDS was the hardest thing for me, and I wish someone would have prepared me for how hard that would have been. And she's struggling. She says it's a battle too.
What I wish that I knew when I was diagnosed was how much this would impact my life. The comorbid illnesses that I'm now being diagnosed with, gastroparesis, dysautonomia, along with other things. I wish I would have known that you go through a health grieving process, that you grieve the old life that you had and that you just will never get it back, and you go, it's a grieving process.
It's really simple. If there's one thing, just one, that I could have known at the time of my diagnosis, was a doctor that knew how to properly diagnose it. And that's it, because if the doctor knew how to properly find the symptoms and traits of EDS, I would have had a diagnosis at 15 and my life would have been totally different. However, I started off as self-diagnosed, but was correct, and doctor after doctor who either knew about it went, wow, yeah, that's exactly you, or ones that didn't and looked it up and learned and said, yeah, that's you. They ended up agreeing, put in my record. Now my record's really thick from all the problems that come along with EDS. However, if there's one thing, just one thing, that I could have when diagnosed, is to actually be diagnosed by a doctor that knows how to diagnose. And that's it. Doctors either know it or they don't. Most don't. So educate your doctors.
Find that one person or a handful of people that you trust, that you know are going to be there for you on the worst day and the best day. They aren't going to judge you for feeling one way or another. Or when you just want to lay down and watch Disney movies, having somebody there who gets that is so important. So important. I wish that I reached out better when I first was diagnosed, to have a sense of community and a sense of normality.
Since it's only been a few months since I was first diagnosed, I wanted to kind of flip this question around and talk about something that I wish that I had known before I was diagnosed. One of the biggest issues that I had throughout my life was just this overwhelming pain. Whenever I was doing physical activities, it was in all of my joints and I felt unstable. And I spent my entire life blaming myself for that pain. I blamed my weight. I told myself that I just needed to exercise harder, or I needed to work harder, and that it was my fault that I was in pain. And I had a lot of guilt from that. And I really wish that I had known my diagnosis younger, at a younger age,
so that I wouldn't have had to go through those experiences of guilt and shame, because there were so many times when I quit things. I quit dance, I quit softball, I quit music, playing cello. That was a huge part of my life. I was going to be an orchestra teacher and I just couldn't do it. It hurt. It was physically painful for me to do. And I felt so much guilt over giving up on those things that were so important to me when I was younger. And this diagnosis has helped me to see that it wasn't my fault, that it was something that was out of my control, that my body was just made differently from other people, and so it wasn't fair to judge myself based on comparing myself to others, because it wasn't an equal playing field.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found a little something helpful, whether you're brand new to EDS and HSD or have been living with it for a long time. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you'd hit subscribe. I will see you soon.